Hey guys, what's up? It's Dom here. So we're going to talk a little bit about Hurndig today, but before we get into the video, we are going to just shout out the man, the myth, the legend, Boris. You may have seen him in Plat Arena, you may have seen him on Twitch streams of mine, but he's a reason why I've built out Hurndig the way I have. So big thanks, Boris. I appreciate your help. Also, a big thank you to the response to my first video, Hunting Rotus. I never expected it to do as well as it did. I thought it'd get like 10 views, but it's sort of doing really well. So I really appreciate everyone who's checking it out. I am going to be streaming on Twitch over the next few days for CVC. There's a lot of controversy on CVC recently, especially with the personal rewards they've added today, but I won't get into that now. I feel like that's just opening up a bombshell, but yeah, it's not the greatest. But let's get into the video. So we're going to talk a little bit about Hurndig and why he's one of our favorite champs. So where do we use Hurndig and why do we use him that way? So we got him in a bit of a hybrid build. He's fastish, he's 207 speed, sorry, and he's in Savage and Speed set. The reason why he's over 205 speed is because we use him in areas of the game like Nightmare campaign farming, Minotaur, faction wars, and tag team arena and that side of things. So it's got to be fastish. Also, he's in 4-piece Savage, 2-piece speed, and his stats aren't too crazy, so it's a reasonable build. You guys can easily replicate this with gear. I've not stripped any of my arena nukers to do this build. I've had him like this since day one pretty much, and he's solid. He's one of the few champs where you don't actually need crazy gear for him to be really effective on your accounts, and that's one of the reasons why I've chosen him to highlight in this first video. So let's have a look at his stats. So he's got 4.2k attack, 207 speeds, and nothing crazy there. 100% crit rate and 263 crit damage. He is in Savage, like I mentioned before. And accuracy wise, he's only got 157. So we mentioned he's a bit of a hybrid. He lands some debuffs. The debuffs he lands are really good, but his damage output is the most important part of his kit as far as where I use him. If you haven't got like a debuffer in Dwarf faction, maybe you push his stats a little bit more for accuracy, but we don't really need him. We got a Trunder, so when we're in faction wars, these two are just basically clearing the waves along with Gala to clear up the rest. So we don't really need to worry too much about the accuracy. I would like to push more attack, but at the same time, this works. I don't need to mess around with his build anymore. It works. I can just leave him be. I don't have to worry about putting better gear on him, which is a bonus because my better gear can go on arena champs that I'm using like Trunder, Candrathon, and other nukers like Rotus now. So we can just leave him be. He does the job, and that's a brilliant thing. As far as like changing his gear, like how would I change it in the future if I ever wanted to tweak him? So if I ever wanted to tweak him, it would probably to be bringing him into arena to basically fight like the warlords, for decreased turn meters, for champs that lock your skills out, because his skills are really good for getting his cooldowns back with his A1. His A1 basically decreases the cooldown of Stasis Strike, which is his big sort of like nuking ability. It's got a single target hit and then an AoE afterwards. So getting locked out of his skills and using this A1 actually is quite beneficial for him in arena. So he's quite a good counter for like warlords and people who lock you out of your abilities. So getting into his mastery side of things. So this is his current mastery set that I'm using. I'm also going to flag up on a screen a couple of other different options after this, just to give you some different ways of building him. This is how I've got him built, but there are different options. He's very versatile, so you don't really need to worry too much about this side of things. If you're using him in arena, you want to be going Helm Smasher. If you're using him in dungeons, you want to be going Flawless Ek for more consistency. The other types of mastery builds you can do heavily sort of like get down into Helm Smasher tree and picking up things like Shield Breaker to do more damage under people with shield buffs for arena, for instance, and other things like if you wanted to bring Cycle of Violence in just to get his cooldowns back. But other than that, I mean, this is a pretty solid build. I still use him in tag team and he still kills waves, still kills decent teams. Granted, in tag team, I'm not really pushing it. I'm only in silver, but he still does the job. So we use Hurndig mainly for our campaign farming and Minotaur farming at the moment with his build he's currently in. So campaign, we use him on 12.6. Just basically, it's a good... Anyone who farms Nightmare campaign will farm 12.6 just because it's the easiest out of the stage 12 campaign missions or stages. He clears it around about 18 to 20 seconds on average. It really depends what food you bring in. If you're bringing in 6-star champions that you're trying to grind up to like the last levels, then it will be longer because those champions are staying alive for longer and just generally slowing down for run basically. So we'll start this up. So you see straight away he'll 2-hit this first wave. Then the second wave, he'll A1. He didn't proc his reset on his A3, which is a bit sad, but he just did then. And lastly, the last wave kills a lure, and then the last wave goes down. 19 seconds, just to show you it's not a fluke. Do it once more. So you can sort of see it's the same situation every time, really. Gets his A3 back, he just destroys that next wave. Then gets his A3 back and destroys the last wave. So that one was 18 seconds. It's a little bit faster, but on average, it's between 18 to 20 seconds. So let's see Hurndig in Minnow. So we're not going to run Hurndig in solo, because that would just be a bit silly. What we are going to do is we're going to pair him with a good, solid damage dealing champ, which is Dracomorph. And then we're going to chuck in our food, or our champion we're leveling up, I should say. So in this instance, we're going to be working on our dupe Candrathon, and we're going to get his scrolls. The good thing about doing duo Minnow is basically you're leveling up the champ at a faster rate, and you're getting all the scrolls at the same time. So this Candrathon right now is getting a third of the experience overall instead of a fifth of the experience overall. So it does make a big difference to the leveling experience wise, as far as how many levels you're getting for your scrolls. And at the end of this, Candrathon will be level 52, full masteries, and then you've only got 8 levels to sort of pick him up from and get him to 60. So it's a really fast way of getting your scrolls. As you can see, 28 seconds for a run. On average, it's below 30 seconds. So we're anywhere from like 25 seconds to 30, I've seen. Let's do another run. Let's bring in another champ. This time we're going to bring in Sandlashed. This may actually be a bit of a slower run because of Sandlashed, because she runs in A1s, but it's 28 seconds, really consistent. If you've got Draco and Hurndig, I emphasize so much to do this sort of build, to use them both side by side. This is pretty much a batty to build on Draco as well, so if you're already using them in Clan Boss, may as well use them elsewhere for this sort of clear speed. It's actually insane to be able to do full scrolls, get them to level 52 within sort of like 30-second run time, which is insane. Now, some other champs you could use alongside Hurndig if you haven't got a Draco. First one would be Creela. So Creela is also very good for AoE damage with her A3 like that, which helps clear the first wave. And then she's also got the allied attack, which will help with, you know, whittling down the second wave, and also when we get to the Minnow, she'll get it back in time to be able to destroy the Minnow. But you'll see, even with a lure in, we're on a boss in 25 seconds. Hurndig should get a few turns here. and the boss should go down, basically. So 36 seconds with Kreela. And I mean, any sort of like AoE damage dealing champs like Skull Crown would work, or Biggin. Any of those would also do the job, just not as fast as like a defense down weaken like Draco. Draco's just, he pairs so well with Hurndig, it's actually insane. But Skull Crown, for instance, should work. I think I've got gear on Skull Crown. I'll soon find out anyway. Yeah, we got gear on Skull Crown. And you see we fly through the waves. Then when we get to the actual boss, we just both pile on the damage. We don't care if Sandlash dies, which she has. You can sort of see we're whittling down a boss. This isn't as fast as with Kreela and Draco, obviously, but it's still very doable if you've got these two champs, and it's 35 seconds again. And lastly, if you've got him, Baron, if you set his AI to do his A1 only, Baron and Hurndig gets through Minnow just as fast as Draco, so that's also a good shout to do. Other than that, guys, he's also very good in places like Doom Tower, so if you're struggling on wave clear on normal, or you just want to get it done fast, for instance, the easiest way of doing it is literally same sort of thing as we're doing in Minnow, really. Just put Hurndig solo. Hurndig will absolutely annihilate these waves. I'm going to take it off auto so I don't use a key though. But you'll see he just one-shots both these waves, and he'll one-shot the last wave as well, which, you know, is awesome. Well, he doesn't quite one-shot this one because of the affinity, but you can see he just solos for waves. But yeah, he gets all the way to the end. You may need to bring in like a Ghost Spawn or an AoE defense down weaken just to help him out a bit, or someone just to keep him alive, like a Seal with a Drakes or something. But he's really fast to just clear for waves on Doom Tower normal. We're not going to waste our key because we've got Doom Tower hard to do tonight. But he is awesome in that area as well. Other than that, guys, I mean, the other areas I use him in are Faction Wars. He's very strong in Faction Wars because of his wave clear and also debuffs he puts out. Like I mentioned, we haven't got that much accuracy on him. We can use him in Arena as well, but we've not really got him built up in Arena. We'd build more heavy attack and keep his crit damage where it is, and maybe lose a little bit of accuracy just to get more damage. And then, like I mentioned at the start of the video, switch his masteries out to be Helm Smasher instead of Flawless Egg. Like I mentioned, guys, if you've enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It helps me out loads. I do stream on Twitch as well. It's twitch.tv/Zerua if you want to come join. The link is in the description below. Also, we will be releasing a few more videos for the next few days. So our Spider 25 team, which does it in about 23 seconds without Sakaya Flame Tongue, and our Dragon 25 speed team, which does it in around about a minute. It used to be sub 1 minute, but the Uragrim nerf made it a minute run. Other than that, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.